Before we begin, thank you very much to Scourge's Childbearing Hips for joining my Patreon campaign. I've seen you do your work, and you are very good at it. Thank you for contributing a bit of your income to keep the channel going and to keep the content coming. You're doing Primus's work. Keep at it. So, if you didn't catch the announcement video, because I know when I do, like, channel update videos, no one actually watches, but hey, every now and then we gotta talk about what's going on. If you missed it, I am going to be doing a huge giveaway at 50,000 subscribers, which I'm getting very close to hitting. So, if you're one of those, and I know there's a lot of you out there who are not subscribed, but you're watching anyway, please consider hitting that subscribe button. It's absolutely free. It really doesn't hurt you in any way, shape, or form. It's just numbers that help me out. So I appreciate anyone who hits that button. Means the world of difference to this channel. It's a great way of supporting your favorite content producers without spending anything. All right, so news roundup time once again. And this one's a kind of a lighter news week. I'm going to try and keep it under 20 minutes. You can see how long the video is. You know if I've already failed or not. But we're going to try. That's the important thing. So, let us begin with what was kind of like the most out-of-the-blue story of the entire week. EarthSpark is getting a brand new video game. EarthSpark Expedition, which seems to be just a kind of standard Transformers run-around, beat-em-up type of game. It's coming out on Xbox, PS5, PS4, Switch. I imagine it's coming to PC at some point as well. So, yeah, it looks, if I can get through all the screens, it pretty much looks like what you would expect. The digital models look pretty close to how they look in the show. So, like, the art style is pretty much just spot on what the show would look like. So, that's not bad. It does seem to be just a beat-em-up game where you can turn into a car once in a while. And from what we've seen, it seems that Bumblebee is the only playable character. There are screen caps that will if you watch the trailer, it's not in these individual screen caps here, but Nightshade makes an appearance in the game as just in the ability upgrade screen, so they're just like in charge of your skill tree, etc. So I don't think they're going to be using the cast very well. It just feels like, hey, here's a Bumblebee game. So I'll let you know. This is a $40 game, and considering we're in the age of the $70 MSRP, that will tell you how much of a budget this game has. It's being done by Outright Games, and Outright is essentially known for very mid-licensed games. They handle a lot of they handle what a lot of us would call shovelware, just things based on popular properties that kids are going to convince their parents to buy. But they're never going to be great games. They're never going to be cult classics. They're never going to be critically rated. They're just kind of standard fare games. And this kind of seems like the same thing, honestly. I mean, it doesn't seem that exciting, for being completely honest. But, hey, it is a new Transformers game, and, hey, maybe I'll be wrong. Maybe I'll be pleasantly surprised by it. Still sucks you can only play as Bumblebee. That's where I'm at right now. So we'll see how it comes out. And we might play it on stream at some point. Who knows? Speaking of Nightshade, they now have a full gallery, so we actually get to see this toy all the way around. It's not just box images. And, guys, it's looking really good. It's looking pretty good. Yes, those are obviously just the robot mode arms tucked under the bottom of the bird mode, of the owl mode. We grew up with, I grew up with, Transmetal. I grew up with Dinobot with his big legs hanging under the chest, or Transmetal Megatron with his arms just kind of tucked up here. I'm used to this kind of thing. That part doesn't really bother me. Look at how good they look, majestic. Oh, it's so good. They do require a little bit of assembly out of the box in order to put the wings on, but this also might mean the wings are detachable if you want a more screen accurate look, clean look to them. But yeah, I think this looks fantastic. I mean, considering it was such a wonder of how are they actually going to make that super thin robot turn into that bulky owl? And yeah, I think for the budget that the deluxe EarthSpark toys get, I think this does a pretty good job. I think it looks pretty nice. Yeah, you can see just how it kind of tucks up all there to create the bird. Yeah, that works. That works for me. So yeah, I'm super excited. I am super excited for this figure. Really like the character, so yeah, I've been really hyped to get that toy. And the fact that it looks like it's coming out pretty good is definitely helping. Moving on. We have a little bit of behind the scenes on Legacy Evolution Deluxe Strongarm. Now, I've made my opinions very clear on this figure. I definitely think it misses the mark. I think there's some proportion issues. I think it doesn't really hold true to, like, her, like, design in the show. But it is what it is. I guess it's good that she's at least getting a decent-sized figure with decent engineering and articulation. I will take it. For now, I will accept it. It looks okay. It's not exactly what I want, but it looks okay. And I think they do acknowledge that, like, they had multiple molds in mind that could have been Strongarm, because I know a lot of people looked at the Hound mold and have done some really good customs that look really, really cool for that one. But they ultimately decided on this one, and they mention mold timing, which usually means that the mold is busy doing, like, they might have a mold in mind, but it's busy doing something else at the moment. Like, if they were doing, like, a Hound, like a retool of the Hound mold, then you're looking at clashing with the Detritus figure that's coming out. So they can't really do that. So that it just basically came down to which one was available. And at the very least, yes, like, it looks like a passing, Strongarm. They did put some work into. I just wish, I don't know, I wish it just lived up to the character a little bit better, that's all. But I'll still get it. I'll still get it, if only because Strongarm I really like as a character. Also, we got a little bit more behind the scenes, and this one is actually far more relevant and actually interesting. So, they showed off the fact that all those accessories coming with Leader Class Optimus Primal are designed for other figures. So naturally, we knew, like, the axe was Optimus Prime's. He uses it in the movie. He gets his traditional movie arm blade as well, but that is not all. The chain, which was inexplicably used by Primal for his swords, is actually meant for Battle Trap, so you can actually have his ball end chain that he uses in the movie properly, and that's a really cool thing to see. Like, that, yeah. Now, if it really is this tight, if the hinges on this are this tight and you can get poses like this, that would actually be pretty incredible. I'm not anticipating that, but it is cool that it's, theoretically possible. And yeah, like, I think it's just cool that they had that in mind. Now, it does mean that if you have your Studio Series figures and you're only collecting the vehicles, now you have to collect one of the beasts just to get all their parts. Which, that's how Hasbro tricks you. So, enjoy the Beast Wars, even if you didn't want to. But no, it's cool. It's cool that they had that in mind. I wish they came with the figures they were meant for, but, budget's weird that way. Alright, we got another look at Perceptor from the brand new Transformers G1 reissue line. Of which, where is it? Hang on, I was going to do a funny thing, and now it's taking too long. I just got the Hound. So, I really do like these. I like the idea of repainting G1 toys with, like, updated, like, screen-accurate colors. That actually, I did a whole video about how much I like that. But yeah, from TF Toy Box, we've got some in-hand photos of the box itself. Now, here on the packaging, we saw the packaging photo before, and this looked super, super weird to me. For one, it kept the chrome, which I did not like. That seems to fly in the face of the whole design philosophy behind these. But also, the chest is really weird because it looks like they just took the window and tampographed in, or like in this case, looks like they photoshopped in a normal cartoon Perceptor chest. That's a little weird. And I was concerned when I saw this. But now we have it in hand and we know exactly what's going on. Now we can actually see. So yeah. It is not that way. All the chrome has been stripped. It's been replaced with silver paint. And the chest looks fine. The chest doesn't look weird at all. So, yeah, it is keeping with the design style of these new repaints, which is less chrome, more accurate to the cartoon. I almost wish they had just, like, tampographed a face or, like, a mouth onto Perceptor just to keep this look, because that's the only thing that's, like, super weird about this toy now. But no, I'm actually really happy about this. I don't know if I'm going to grab it. I've got a reissue Perceptor. I don't know if I want to, like, buy another one just to kind of slightly upgrade the visuals. But I'm thinking about it. Yeah, I guess it'll depend on how much I like Hound, because this is only my second one of these that I've actually bought. We'll see. All right. We have the official cast for the first issue of Transformers #1 coming out in October from Skybound. And this is interesting. So Optimus Prime, obviously, RC, so we have a token female of the cast. Wheeljack and Ratchet. Now, as a kid, those two were inseparable to me because they were like the repair crew for the Autobots. So it's cool to see both of them together. And then Cliffjumper. And that seems to be it. Now, obviously, this is just a promo shot, but they did this with like a one character reveal at a time. So I definitely think this is the small cast that they're going to start the comic book with and extend from there. There's no Bumblebee, which is interesting. There isn't even a Mirage, which you'd think they would shoehorn in based just on the movie. It's fascinating to me that they picked these 5 because, like, when you look at that crew, you don't have like a lot of like solid, like what you would consider solid combatants across the Autobots. I would consider, like Ironhide would be like a pure combatant type. I think Sunstreaker and Sideswipe would be like, those are your like frontline style Autobots. Wheeljack's an inventor. Ratchet's a medic. Cliffjumper, let's be honest, he's largely ineffective. But I guess he stands for mainline. I guess he can be in the front lines. It's just a weird cast. It's an interesting cast. It tells me they're going to focus more on a story than anything, which is an interesting thing to attempt. So I'm really curious how this is going to turn out. I'm not totally against the art style either. I kind of like this, where they're going with this so far. We'll see. We'll have to wait till October to find out. They've been featuring Jetfire pretty heavily in some of their other books covers. So maybe Skyfire, Jetfire's in here too. We'll find out in October. Amazon listed something brand new, and for a second I thought, because all I saw was One Step Flip Heroes, and for a second I thought maybe they're actually going to do like all those like classic hero team flip things, because I still need that Gator Megatron. No, they're just reissuing EarthSpark One Step Changers in one box, and it's just an evergreen box, and it's Amazon exclusive. And moving on. All right, Prime 1 Studio showed off their Optimus Primal statue, with showing him in both robot mode and gorilla mode, and it does look absolutely next level. Okay, that is appropriate. He looks really, really cool. Lots of heavy detail, lots of heavy paint. Look at the like little scrapes and marks all over this like really worn out metal look. You can tell he's been in the jungle for a few centuries. It's pretty cool. Yeah, I like that Energon glow in the back too. That's a nice touch. Yeah, it looks like they have glowing eyes too. Like they really do like try to point out the eyes and the glow to them. So I'm assuming this thing lights up. I'm presuming. Doesn't really state here, but it'd be really weird to illuminate all this if it didn't. But no, that's a really cool, like, again, statues are not really my thing. If I'm spending that much on a Transformer, I'd rather it turn into something and be playable. But if you just really love the design of Primal, and you can't decide if you want him in robot or beast mode, you have a way of splitting the difference. So, if you can afford the big statues, you got another one on the way. But if you want some less expensive statues, go in a different direction. Kotobukiya did announce a limited edition convention exclusive Nemesis Prime version of their Optimus Prime Bishojo statue. This is going to be exclusive to Anime Expo and San Diego Comic-Con 2023. And that's pretty cool. That's actually pretty cool. Let's see. In addition to being part of the Anime Expo lineup, the statue will be available to pre-order through Kotobukiya shops in Japan starting July 3rd. So if you're in Japan, that's how you get a hold of it. And they'll be available at Kotobukiya shops starting on July 12th. It was mentioned that if you try to use a international forwarding service to buy this through their website, the order will be canceled, so that's a little bit concerning. I guess they absolutely want to make sure Japanese fans get their hands on the online releases. But there's 2 conventions in America that will have the figure in stock. If you absolutely need Evil Girl Prime, you will have a chance to do that. You will have a chance to get it. I do like that they've swapped out a few things on this. She does have a much meaner expression on her face, and I like that the tool case is now a sword. So, like, okay, good ideas, good touches, good changes. Still weird you have the Matrix. You don't normally have the Matrix when you're the Evil Prime. But, yeah, again, not for me, but I know people who are. And these are a lot more tasteful than they could be. So, I'm not wholly against them. Yeah, if you want it, good luck. Good luck. They're not going to make it easy for you. For something a little bit easier, and well, maybe, because this is a Chinese release, but for something a little bit in a different direction, you have a Perfect Toys release for Mirage as a little RC car, which basically just means they took a Porsche and painted it to look like he did in the movie. But you know what? Hey, sometimes that's all it really takes. So there's going to be an RC car of Mirage. It looks decently sized. If we have that little Human Alliance figurine as a comparison, the shot I really like is them actually like putting 5 Mirages together. I think the MS Paint level of lines was unnecessary. I think just putting them in that configuration, we get what you're doing. It's an oddball little thing, but I know people who love their RC cars, so who knows? Maybe this will actually be available in the US at some point. Now we get into the weird of the week, because we have some really left field stuff. So, for Transformers Dark of the Moon, KGBO and Killerbody are releasing a Dark of the Moon Scalpel. What? And specifically the Dark of the Moon one, because Scalpel made appearance in Revenge of the Fallen, and this is a super random character to make anything out of. Granted, it does look exceptionally well done. Like, it looks like the movie model, spot on. You do get these little extra... Yeah, well, I think that head is from somebody else. I think that head's from somebody else because that's very similar to a head, like, statue that they sold previously. But yeah, it's in proportion with it, whether it's a new one or the previous one, whichever. They are showing it off a lot, which makes me think that it might just be part of the package. Like, Scalpel is just the figure, and you get this Megatron head as a display stand. We don't know. They didn't really say. They just kind of shared the images. But no, like, it's a pretty extensive piece. The Megatron looks demented. I mean, appropriate, I guess. But yeah, like, you even get, like, little additional weaponry, like, little swappable hand pieces. Like, this is a weird thing to make. This is just such a weird idea, but you know what? Okay, I guess if we want to strike the Bay fans, then this is not the worst. It's at least different and interesting. Let's say that. Okay, so Gravastar is announcing a giveaway. This is a promotional campaign to win one of their Transformers branded USB charging blocks, which is basically, yeah, like, you can see the plug in them. So, like, yeah, flip it out. There's like 2 or 3 spots to charge a USB device. Simple little thing. They just happen to be very fancy designs and look like little worker robots painted up as Optimus and Bumblebee. So that is a contest if you want to. Follow them on Instagram, like and share their post, comment if you want Optimus or Bumblebee, tag 2 friends. Typical promotional stuff. Yeah. You know, I keep reading rules on social medias about things like this being, like, against the rules. Like, to do anything to artificially inflate your number count through, like a promise or a chance of reward. But people do it anyway. So, if you want to enter, feel free. And to wrap us up. So this is a League of Steel Optimus Prime figure by ZCWO Low Fool. This is a football-themed Optimus Prime vinyl toy. It is basically just a human wearing Optimus Prime themed football gear. And apparently they've got more in mind because we can see the backsides of a lot of our favorites. But Optimus is the one out first. Doesn't look like it does anything. It's just like a really weird football player wearing some of Optimus Prime's shell. It's one of the more bizarre design and aesthetics that I've ever seen them do. Fool's Parade League of Steel. All right. So we know what that stands. So we know that. Okay. Okay. You know what? I'm going to wrap it up here. I'm not going to try and figure it out. This is definitely one of the more oddball ones. And looking at my timer, I just barely missed the 20-minute mark. Shoot. Oh, well. It's still shorter than most of these. But thank you guys for watching. I hope you're caught up with the news for the week. And I will see you next time.
I'm like, I think you guys got this. I will back away, and I will see you all there.
You've got this handled.
Alafi's like, really? You're not gonna help me? Like, it's fine now.
It's like these disgusting creatures breathing down my neck, and you're all just like, I believe in you. You got this.
All right, you seem to have this. 5 minutes.